Wary observations, righteous discussions unite people. It's the Word Up Podcast, and I am your host, OMNI, Omni,
Omni.
etc. Folks, today's topic: minority rules as opposed to the majority rules. It's election season. A lot of interesting things happening in election time, but I'm here to around election time, But today we're going to be talking about what happens every day. Every day. With that said, let's jump on in. Interesting. If you would, please hit the notification bell as well as the like and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. As we go through these deep dives, we're going to break down the concept of minority rules as opposed to the majority ruling. Because really, in all truth and actuality, it's the minority that's ruling out here, not the majority. Top 1% of people are rich. Means the bottom 99 are not. Majority of people are struggling to make ends meet. The minority of people are not. And what I tend to find and attribute this to is the fact that people have the wrong mindset about things. People have the wrong mindset when it comes to success, finances. And I'm not even going to put myself in the top 1% because I ain't there yet, right? But I'm speaking in general. The minority rules, not the majority. And it always, throughout human history, seems to be that way. No matter what model of society we construct, whether it be totalitarian, whether it be capitalistic, whether it be feudal, whether it be communist based system, it always goes to the minority of people that benefit, while the majority of people are out here floundering, clueless, not understanding what's really going on. And it goes into the psychology of the human mind, how we think about things, and what we're entertained by, what we occupy our time with, and what we don't occupy our time with. Question: do you know? See, pardon me for a second. I dropped the battery. I might have to change out the battery. So if my camera goes off, just know technical difficulties. I might have to swap out my battery for my camera, not for my camera, but for the light. I got a dummy battery for the actual camera, but for the light, I can't find a dummy battery for that for some reason. Looked Amazon, looked everywhere, but that's neither here nor there. Do you know how much time you spent on entertainment in the past week versus how much you spent on self-improvement? Do you know how much time that you've spent on I can't even say podcasts anymore because a lot of podcasts out here do not offer anything of value for you to take away with yourself. Do you know how much time that you spent on fictional or non-fictional materials? I'll put it that way. How much time did you invest in learning something new in the past week versus how much time were you entertained by something that taught you absolutely nothing for you to go forward with? These are the questions that we're going to be asking ourselves throughout today's program. Because it occurs to me that people in general think about the wrong things. And as I pointed this out when we had the Cat Williams discussion, everybody was having the wrong discussion. Everybody was like, oh, Cat Williams is outing all of these, you know what I'm saying, all of these Negroes that are doing X, Y, and Z and are acquiescing. But nobody was having the conversation from the perspective of, well, how do we remove the people that are in power that cause that and incentivize that type of behavior? Like, Steve Harvey is a powerful man at this point in his life, but he's not the end all be all in Hollywood. Cedric the Entertainer, you can argue that it would be debatable that he has a modicum of power or influence. Who else did Cat out? Well, Faison Love not so much, but Faison's been doing this thing apparently. If you check his IMDb, but he's not really moving the needle like that. Not as opposed to a Harvey Weinstein. He was moving the needle, but he fumbled. He did what he did and got the results of that. But for a large amount of time, he got away with egregious acts against women. Supposedly, because I wasn't actually there. Right? So, what is it that separates a Steve Harvey, a Cat Williams even, from everybody else? What separates the successful from the non-successful? Those that have from the have-nots? What is it? How is it that somebody can come into this country, talking about America, because I'm streaming from America, that somebody can come into this country with absolutely nothing and get it all and multiply it times 100? I would have to attribute it to the fact that people's mindsets are different. When your mindset is different, the things that you do, the ways that you move, the head leads and the body follows. So everything that you've got going on in your life is likely a result of decisions that you've made. I know, right? It should be pretty obvious that that's the case, but a lot of people who work from a victim mindset, which means instead of taking control, they feel or think or perceive themselves of being completely out of control of their situation. So, with that being the case, matter of fact, I just got off of a show while I was in the background trying to figure out what the hell was going on with my Elgato. And that's why a lot of things aren't happening the way that they should be right now on this show. Let me look at my buttons got wiped. My buttons got wiped. I don't understand how that happened. Oh, wait, no. They seem to be here. Let me try something real quick. Hold on. I want to try something because everything seems to be here the way that it should be. But for some reason, when I click my instruments, right? Oh, wow. That just worked. Let me try the Sting again. Hold on. Let me try the Sting. See, the Sting's not working. But anyway, let's not do this. Oh. Now it works. Okay, so I have to click each one of these individually to make sure that they are refreshed because something happened with Elgato. I attribute it to the same thing that happened with Mickey D's. There's something going on in the tech space. I haven't quite figured it out yet. There's not enough information. But Side note, if you don't know, McDonald's has closed down a bunch of its stores, if not nearly all of its stores. So you're not going to be able to get your kids a Happy Meal. They're not going to be able to get the latest toy out the Happy Meal. In order to figure out what's going on with their transaction system. On top of that, I just got off of a call with my bank, Bank of America. Something happened with my account where I'm not able to get into it. I can still pay via phone and all of that, but that's really a headache. I'd rather be able to log in, see those numbers, because it gives me a sense of peace. You know what I'm saying? That I'm actually able to log into an account and see it at any point in time. First world issue, I know, because, well, back in the day, all you had was the phone, or you had to show up at the office yourself to pay. You know, modern day conveniences that are stripped away from me. I'm not necessarily in a panic because I do know I have those alternatives, but at the same time, like, I don't want to talk to an automated and go through that process. It's really just easier for me to tap away. So I'm trying to rectify that situation. And I'm noticing that there's a lot of things that are not stable technology wise in the past. I'm gonna say 24 to 48 hours. Something has been going on. Not to mention the thing that happened earlier. Was it this week? Either this week or last week, there was something going on with Facebook, and nobody could get in. Nobody could log into their Facebook, and everybody's just cool and calm and collective right now about it. Like nothing's actually happening to our technological infrastructure. But you know, it is what it is, and it will be resolved when it gets resolved. But I'm thinking that something deeper is at play because I'm lightweight as conspiracy theorist. What can I say? But this is the thing, right? This is the thing. Minority rules. It seems to be the minority of people that implement the rules, that govern, that, you know, implement the laws, enforce the laws over the vast populace of us. And it has to do with our mindsets. The majority mindset tends to put people in a hole quicker than the minority mindset. The minority mindset, I'm going to defer gratification. I'm going to stay down. I'm not going to spend any money, even though I have money to spend. I'm going to save. I'm going to invest. I'm going to be intentional. That's the minority mindset. The majority mindset is, I'm going to live for the day or live for the weekend. I'm going to work for the weekend. I'm going to get my paycheck and blow everything because you only live once. YOLO. It's the things that I see in society and how people are moving out here in society that allow me to make certain informed decisions. And usually, in my own personal experience, I've been penalized for moving with the majority instead of thinking for myself. Anytime, especially really in my younger years, because nobody can actually get me to acquiesce to anything that they would want me to do today. But in my younger years, when I was living, I'm not going to say vicariously, but when I was living unintentionally, when I was not, I was without a plan, I was without structure, I was without guidance, certainly, or a sense of direction or purpose. And also in a victim mindset because, oh my God, everything bad is happening to me. But those bad things that happened to me, for the most part, like, you know, I was in Hurricane Katrina at a young age. Me and my mother lost everything. I had to pull up to the basement. If you want that story, I could talk about it elsewhere. I'm not really going to get into it because there's a lot of things I could say about that. But, catastrophic, cataclysmic events like that in my personal life, those were out of my control. It's an act of God. A hurricane is an act of God. What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? But majority of things that happened to me that were unfortunate, I look back on them and it's like, yeah, I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have gone out with the homies at one time when I had low funds, because anything could have happened and I would need money to solve a problem with XYZ the third. Probably shouldn't have gotten with that one chick that one time, because what I'm saying, she was with other people. Thank God I never had an STD in my life, but I could have, for not vetting people effectively. It's a lot of situations, as I detailed on one of the first shows I had on this channel, the side effects of proximity. Just being in proximity to certain elements, certain people, or choosing to be in proximity to certain elements and certain people will give way to certain outcomes. So it's the majority mindset that allows the minority to rule. What do I mean by that? I see people always concerned with the wrong things. I'm going to break this down with the first topic. LeBron James has made his rounds, as if he doesn't always, for good things, opening a school, becoming a billionaire, doing businesses, conducting business and whatnot. Peace, Nightish. Peace. Welcome everybody coming in. Peace. The majority mindset, peer pressure, and the like. Everybody in this zeitgeist where we're people pleasing other people that really don't actually love us or have no stake in our own personal existence. Everybody's so worried about celebrity gossip, news, tabloids. Oh my God, Kanye did this. Oh my God, salute Butterfly Jones. I see you. Oh my God, Kanye did this, or LeBron James, or Candace Owens, or... In these breakdowns, I want you to not look at these people as they actually are. I want you to look at them as an avatar of what they are. Absolutely. Mob mentality does not like to think for themselves. And that's part of the problem. That's the problem that I see out here. People aren't capable of really thinking for themselves, right? Matter of fact, the other day, salute to Nightish, shout out Nightish. Someone told me, oh, there's another channel called Word Up. Yeah, but mine is called Word Up Podcast. They have a podcast on their channel. They're actually, I did my research on them. They're international, so I'm good money. Keeping it in the States. You know what I'm saying? But it's even like, so what? I'm willing to compete. I'm willing to compete. Essentially there's a team over there of people. It's just me. The graphics, the designs, the layout. I meant to pop up his pic earlier, but oh yeah, I did click on it. See, that's that technology stuff that I'm talking about with Elgato. Hold on. Okay, I had to refresh all of these. Toggle link sources and link sources. Okay, now I should pop. No, that's the wrong one. Ho. Oh, it's going straight to the... Okay, well, here we go. LeBron James. There we go. That's what I meant to do. So we talking about LeBron James and the minority mindset and how the minority moves and rules. LeBron James was out just doing him. LeBron James was out just doing him, living life. He was out with his wife. He was out on courtside. Um, you know what I'm saying? Apparently it was Women's Day. But people are fixated on what somebody else is doing instead of being fixated on what they're doing within their own lives. It's cool to be entertained by things. I'm not trying to knock people for being entertained. I'm not trying to knock people for being entertained by stuff. I'm not trying to knock folks for liking what they like or whatnot. But when we get so absorbed in celebrity news to the point where you're analyzing every single move, like this era is worse than the era of the paparazzi. It's like, it's damn near like everybody is paparazzi nowadays. Let me know if I'm wrong. Is everybody with a smartphone, a camera phone, everybody's paparazzi, everybody's the news, but the shit that the majority of people are reporting on is straight bullshit. So you're gonna see. We're gonna get into this video real quick. Lord, let me hold on. I'll be in the background while getting my Elgato to right, because everything got reset for whatever reason. So let's get into this video, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, right? I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. Oh no, that's that. This is what I want to show y'all. All right. So, matter of fact, let me I want to where we at? I want to sculpt that up a little bit. There we go. So this is brought to us by All Urban Central, and it goes into detail about what happened and whatnot. But the problem is that people can't mind their own damn business. It's what I see. But let's get into it. So LeBron and his wife going viral after flirting with Jenny Buss. Now, and by the way, this is a completely muted video, but LeBron was sitting down with some people that happen to be Caucasian women, and you know how it goes with brothers and the white women. Lord, can't have a conversation. Can't have a conversation with a white woman nowadays. Like before this, it was Dr. Umar with the one snow bunny, quote unquote snow bunny. That's what he refers to him as, with the snow bunny in the mall. You know what I'm saying? I can't just be out in the mall. I'm not the biggest Dr. Umar fan, right? But I can't be out in the mall just minding my business. Somebody comes up, happens to be Caucasian, they ask me questions, and so I'm inclined to answer these questions that they're asking about. I'm not trying to get a number or anything. Dr. Umar has made his position pretty known when it comes to white women, right? When it comes to white women, Dr. Umar has made his position known. Exactly. I was getting to that, Jones. Like, this was his boss. This is someone who has a stake in the company. This is someone that's a part of the business structure. So they have a familiarity with each other. And for some reason, people have a problem with it. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Like, if y'all don't get off LeBron's dick, I promise, not to be so crass, but let's play this video out. So dude said, first of all, it's Happy International Women's Day. That caption is crazy. So he's talking, he's making a joke, he's saying some things. They're laughing. He's being charismatic. There's touching of the arm. Women have done this to me, and my girl has never tripped out about it. And now everybody's putting peer pressure on Savannah James. Ray Midnight in the building. Salute Ray Midnight. Everybody check out Ray Midnight's channel if you would. With that name, check out Ray Midnight's channel. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Ray Midnight. Appreciate you for stopping by, fam. But this is the thing about LeBron James. This is the thing about LeBron James and the majority mindset that I can't fuck with. Which is why most people can't fuck with me. Is that there's so much followerism. There's so much a need to just to look at someone who's actually doing, actually trying, actually has accomplished things. And then you pick apart every single move that they do. It would be one thing if you're picking apart his game, the whole reason that he's who he is. Cool. But when he's off the court, he's not even playing right now. He's just watching the game like everybody else. And so people have a problem with this. Oh, Lord, he hugged the white woman. Lord, he hugged the white woman. Oh my God. Oh, you know it's a cardinal sin. Oh, he might as well stuck his dick in her at this point. You know, any black man, anytime a black man hugs a white woman, they fucking. That's the rule. I didn't make these rules. I didn't write the book. People. I didn't write the book. Anytime a black man hugs a white woman, they having sex. Salute to Chris J. Appreciate you for stopping by. Butterfly Jones. This is what they said, Butterfly Jones. That's what they said. They said when it's national. Never mind. When is it National Man's Day? It's never National Man's Day. I just got off of a show before I came to do my show. I just got off of a show. It was the AOC show. Shout out to them. They have great intellectual conversations over there. It's just that, you know, it certain people seem certain panelists, not the host, but certain panelists at times seem to limit their perspective. But when is it National Man's Day? I just got off of a show talking about how men don't have many advantages in society in general, and women are given all the advantages. But that's not what this show's about. But it's not going to be. Yeah, I don't think there's ever going to be there's never going to be a National Man's Day. There's never going to be there may be a man empowerment conference, but everybody's going to scoff at it. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll hit you with the S word. If you don't know what the S word is, it's sassy. That's the weaponization right now. Again, I see in social media the number one weaponized word against men, especially black men, is the word sassy, because they want to dial it back from gay. I know I'm saying all the buzzwords. I don't give a fuck. They want to dial it back from gay or homosexual, because we've hit them with the, oh, well, what about your gay best friend? I thought it was a good thing to be gay. You celebrate, you know what I'm saying? You celebrate homosexuality. You celebrate people being gay. So why would you ever throw that at us as an insult? If it's supposed to be a positive, you don't insult someone with a positive affirmation or a positive title or a positive lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's like the whole weird thing with the little hat community, aka the Jewish community, always being upset that someone's talking about how good they are with money. I wish that for every black person. I wish that was the stereotype of black people, that we were rich, affluent, and good with money. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you got to be mad at? They called you rich, and you mad? Okay. But I digress, right? Why is it that anytime, and it's not just black men, black women, it's anytime that Well, I can't even speak from a white male's perspective. I can only speak from my perspective, and I happen to be a black man. Anytime that I've been around a reasonably attractive woman, for some reason, people have been imagining us having sex. And that's the way that I put it. Because in order for you to even think that we fucking, that means in your mind we fucking. Which means you've imagined that. You've envisioned that. You've fantasized about that. Or maybe you can mind your own fucking business as I'm doing mine. I don't know. Again, appreciate you, Ray Midnight. Appreciate you. I definitely am. So, you know, this is a cardinal sin right here for LeBron. He is hugged up on a white woman. Never mind that's, oh, he kissed her too. Kissed her on the cheek. Would you believe it? Never mind that is essentially his boss or a high-ranking official in the organization that he works for. Never mind that might be her friend or a close associate or somebody with a modicum of influence. And he's just, you know, call it brown nosing, call it being cordial, call it being friendly. Everybody feels as though he's being a tad bit too friendly. And that's what I don't understand. This is why I don't understand. This is why I don't understand, people. How the hell are we going to say that, like, how are we to move in society? How are we to move in society? You can't get anything done. But you know what? The thing that I appreciate wholeheartedly about this entire situation is that LeBron doesn't even acknowledge it. As far as I've seen, LeBron hasn't acknowledged it. He just continues to do him. And that's the minority mindset. That's where minority rules. You worried about your own thing. You're not worried about what everybody, you got blinders on. You're not worried about what everybody else thinks. You know what you're going after. You know what your goals are. You know that which you are establishing. So why be concerned with these optics to this extent? So he's sitting down. Let's see where this goes, because I haven't actually reviewed this. And this is everybody's commentary. Hold on. This photo of LeBron and Savannah is trending on social media because this photo was taken apparently after all of this stuff went down. And what I don't understand is, so he's looking to the left, she's looking to the right. You just caught them in an awkward moment. There's no video of them having a discourse. From what I've seen, I haven't seen a video of them having a discourse. Or them being upset. Supervillain, have a serious problem with respecting boundaries. He's not even engaged. Like, he's not even leaning back. He's not giving her googly eyes. He's just over there explaining, being charismatic, just talking about stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they're enamored. Cool, they can be enamored. But they're not, there's nothing happening on his part. So you mean to tell me just because he was present, LeBron definitely getting that statue. And this is what we refer to as the peanut gallery. Just the peasants talking. LeBron walks through his front door. Savannah, oh, you a comedian. So you a comedian now.
Off is the direction you can fuck.
Savannah James. When LeBron walks through the door, like, it's crazy.
Nigga, did you know that I can see you?
Jesus. This is insane. These memes are insane. So all of these memes. Yeah. No. Yeah. Hold on, which one? Oh, I'm over here with it. Yeah. Hope he's knocking her off? For real? Are you Yeah, because he's probably gonna get a lot of backlash. No, Savannah's solid. Or Butterfly, is there something that you know that you can contribute to the conversation that I don't about LeBron and Savannah? You know what I'm saying? Because it might have just happened while I've been setting up the show and doing my thing. Is there something that you know that's been confirmed? Because, you know what I'm saying, one thing that sucks as a man is to constantly be accused of something, you know what I mean, by your significant other that you're not doing, that you're not benefiting from. It almost puts you in the mindset of, well, shit, I might as well. Since I'm getting all of the flack, I'm taking all of the consequences for cheating when I haven't done anything wrong. If I'm taking all of the flack and I'm getting all of the consequences, I'm getting all of the pushback, and I'm getting all of the ridicule and the blame for cheating, and I'm not cheating, well, shit, I might as well cheat. That way it justifies the punishment. Because right now I'm an innocent man. So I might as well knock her off. I might as well crack her. No pun intended. I might as well. That's a steep one. But you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he hasn't, as far as the public knows and understand, he hasn't actually done anything. All he did wrong was be great and visible. From what I see. Let's continue on with these bullshit memes. Some of them are funny though. I will say some of them are funny. I will give him that. Am I reading this wrong, or does he just say, first of all, Happy International Women's Day? Only got one chance a year to hit that shot, and Bron didn't miss. What? Hold on. Let's see if he. Okay, he totally did say Happy International Women's Day. That's wild. He did. He said, first of all. He said it twice. I saw the lips. First of all, Happy International Women's Day. But I'm going to be honest, it makes me uncomfortable to even be looking at a man's mouth that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? To be lip reading. Say, and that's the thing, because he's pandering. But he's the difference between pandering when your broke ass does it, and the difference between pandering when a billionaire does it is $1 billion. Billionaires can pander. It's perfectly fine for them to pander. He's got $1 billion. There's no ulterior motive. They don't think anything of it. When your broke ass is pandering, you just look like a sucker. That's it. We know you don't mean none of that shit. LeBron is at a place of affluence, and he's influential and all of these great things outside of just playing ball well, right? He's actually affluential individual. I'm going to lift this up a little bit. So when he panders, you know, they respond to it differently. But let's continue. Okay. LeBron got aura. Now, LeBron has success, a physique. He's athletic. He's a championship winner. He's affluential. He's used his status to benefit others. So he's also a altruistic individual. So he doesn't have aura, this magical, or you know what I'm saying, this magical ambiguous thing that people love to talk about. He's worked himself into a particular situation and position in life through great effort and great trials to earn what he's earned. And people are jealous of him, and this is why they do this. By the way, I'm not a sports fan at all. I couldn't tell you a stat of his. I couldn't tell you none of this. I'm just observing the game at large and what's playing out publicly for everybody to see. You think that he's gonna get a team? We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So that's one thing. So when it comes to LeBron, and when it comes to the majority mindset versus the minority mindset, I don't think LeBron is actually considering this at all. He probably is laughing like everybody else is laughing, but he's laughing all the way to the bank while you just laughing at your crib. You know what I'm saying? You laughing while you at work. You laughing, you know what I'm saying, to escape the reality of your existence and how you want to. I'm not saying you as in the viewers of the show, but you as in the people that create those memes, the people that need a laugh that need to laugh at the successful in order to feel better about what they've got going on. That's what there's nothing anybody can tell me. That's the only thing that makes sense. For you to be paying that much attention to what he's got going on and take, how long was that? 17 seconds? To take that 17 seconds and stretch it out across an entire week of entertainment, make a bunch of memes about it, to make commentary on what his and his wife may or may not be talking about behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. And I know that Savannah isn't, like the way that Savannah carries herself, she's more than likely not paying attention to any of this, because this is par for the course. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new to her. You know what I'm saying? She been with that man when he had nothing. And you think she's going to leave him when he has $1 billion? You think she's going to leave him because he hugged a couple of white women and they leaned on his shoulder like this? She'd be a fucking fool. Just like majority of social media is filled to the brim with fucking fools. Savannah didn't get in the position that she got in with LeBron because she was like every other chick. Clearly, LeBron saw something in Savannah that was rare. It wasn't everywhere. And we're talking about the man with the mindset that turned down $1 million. That's another thing. I didn't cover this, but Steve Stout, and I'll throw this up on the IG now I think about it. Steve Stout said that on Club Shay Shay when Shannon Sharpe interviewed him, said that LeBron had a check waiting for $10 million. This was when he was dead broke, when he was still in the projects, you know what I'm saying, living with his mama the whole nine. He has situations, real things that he's going through. You know what I'm saying? Dead broke. And he turned down $10 million. I think it was a Reebok sponsorship contract and all of that, and he turned down $10 million. It was Steve Stout's plan, and Steve Stout said, "Yo, it was my plan." What's up, B-Love? How you doing? Long time no see over this way. Nice to see you. But it was Steve Stout's plan to get LeBron James, when he had nothing, Nathan, $10 million. And LeBron turned it down. Understand the type of mindset a person needs to have. The type of resolve a person needs to have. in order to turn down $10 million when you're dead broke, in a position of desperation. You're not in a strong position. You need the money. When LeBron James needed the money, he turned down $10 million. Now, you can say, okay, half of that is going to get taken up by the tax man. Sure, absolutely. Cool. You can say, you know, some of that's going to get, you know, the agent. Okay, so let's say on the generous side, he was left after taxes, after, you know, managerial fees. He's left with like $3 million. Oh, he had a Hummer in 10th grade? Well, according to Steve Stout, and I'm just going off of what Steve Stout said. I don't know about the Hummer in 10th grade. That's wild to me. Was it the H1 or the H2? I'm just going off of what Steve Stout said on Club Shay Shay. Steve Stout said that LeBron James had no money and he was in the projects when he turned down $10 million. Also, Steve Stout is the nigga that 50 Cent wants to punch in the face, but can't because he made too much money. You know what I'm saying? Then the lawyers get involved and whatnot. People know who they can do what to and who they can't do stuff to. H1? Interesting. Okay, yeah, the H1. You're from Akron? Okay, you're from Akron. So Jones, you're saying that you were around LeBron when he was in 10th grade and whatnot? You saw how he was moving? Are you sure that car was his or he was borrowing it from somebody else? Like, these are my questions. LeBron's mom is very hood and money smart. Okay. Oh, shit. Well, yeah, this kind of thing that Steve Stout was talking about is that Bron's mom was hood, was in the projects. So that aspect of it fits. I mean, I know a lot of niggas in the projects with money, but like different level of money. Can we say 310 gave it to him? Okay, so he didn't buy it himself though. Got you. You paint the picture for me. Mom's put it in her name. Of course. Ain't that the Hummer was in her name, but I bet the bills were in his. Listen. If we talking about the hood, if we talking about the projects and what goes down in the projects, Jones, you know as well as I, the car was in her name, but the liabilities, the bills, the debt, which, you know, car is depreciating asset, so that's a liability in and of itself. But, you know, niggas in the hood don't view a car as a liability. He was 16. Okay. Yeah, the H1 Hummer was in mom's name, but the bills were more than likely in Bron or, you know what I'm saying, his siblings' name. So, like, yeah, I'm just speaking in the hood in general. It doesn't necessarily just apply to LeBron. I'm just speaking how stuff goes in the hood in general. Your mom put your name on the bills. You know what I'm saying? So he comes from that environment, and in that environment, he still is saying no to 10 million. His uncle still got it? That's crazy. He comes from that environment. Where there's not that much going on. There's not that much happening. But he still has the balls to turn down $10 million. He still has the balls to turn down $10 million. I don't know, folks. I don't know. I might be off on this, but I don't think everybody in the hood is going to turn down $10 million. If you put a $10 million check in front of most cats in the hood, they gonna run off with the $10 million. And then they're gonna buy a bunch of bullshit that they don't actually need. They're not gonna open a business with it so that money continues to grow. They're not gonna invest in it, you know what I'm saying, to multiply the money. They're not even gonna save it for a rainy day. They're gonna spend it. I'm talking about the majority mindset versus the minority mindset. LeBron has the minority mindset. He clearly knows what's valuable. He clearly knows what he needs to do in order to run the bag up. Word, B-Love, that's what I'm saying. Steve Stout said that it was Steve Stout's deal, according to Steve Stout. Nobody else has verified this yet. I'm just going off of what Steve Stout said about LeBron. I'm just going off of what Steve Stout said about LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going off what Steve Stout said about LeBron. Let's see. Yeah, we got it here. We got it here. Hold on. What Steve Stout said about LeBron James is that he gave him a shot to get 10 million. The idea is if I dangle the check in front of you, then you don't take any other meetings because I gave you such an egregious amount. Let's go to the video. Let's go. See exactly what I'm talking about. So you can see exactly what I'm talking about.
Knew LeBron at a very young age. I mean, LeBron was what, like 15, 16 when you met him?
I met LeBron when he was 17. I pitched LeBron. The whole story about LeBron and the $10 million check that he turned down,
yes.
I was there. It was my idea to give him the check. I was in the room to give him the check.
A kid with a single mom.
I couldn't believe it.
Living in an apartment.
Yeah.
And you got a $10 million check. So here you go, bro.
Paul Feynman. So I tell Paul Feynman, I'm like, we leave. We're in New York for meetings. We're flying up to Massachusetts to meet LeBron. He's flying the plane. Yeah, from Akron. It's like a 6 o'clock, 5:30 meeting. I had to finish school to come to me. Boom. I'm like, Paul. He goes, Adidas is going to do the deal. Nike's going to do the deal. He wants to go to Nike. His agent is already pre-approved to the deal with Nike. I'm like, let me tell you how you deal with this. In the record business, when you want to sign somebody, you give them the money right there in the front. Like, you know what? Whatever you think the number is, we'll give you this signing bonus right now to not even take the other meetings.
Okay, so if I heard him right, Nike didn't necessarily have him yet. Jones, what's up? While I'm taking this break, I would be remiss if I didn't say this. What's up? Cellulite Podcast. What's happening? Appreciate you stopping by. But Nike didn't necessarily have him yet. This was the point in the career where he was going to sign a sneaker deal. Well, not a sneaker deal, but he was going to sign a sponsorship deal. And what Steve Stout just said is that Nike had him lined up, but they didn't execute on the deal yet. So he still had a meeting pending with Nike as well as some other sponsorships. But what Steve Stout was doing was like, okay, what do you think this is worth to you? What do you want? And he said 10 million. So they gave him the 10 million on the front end of the deal. On the front end. Gloria knew he was crooked. Bro, Nike had him. Oh, word. So you saying Steve Stout is cap? That's what you saying. Steve Stout is capping right here. Okay. I'm just going off of what the man said. If he capping, he capping. If he capping, he capping. If he capping, he capping. But I'm just going off of what Steve Stout said. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going off of what Steve Stout is saying right here. What Steve Stout is saying is that he had it lined up. Okay, that's your take. That's your take. But what he's saying right here is Steve is lying. Okay. Okay, but what he's saying right here is that Nike hadn't executed the deal yet, but in order to keep him from going to that other meeting, he's going to give him the money up front. He's going to write him a check for $10 million right then and there. But they wasn't going to do it. Well, let's see. Hold on.
I figure if you're meeting,
Hold on.
cool, to come to me. Boom. I'm like, Paul, he goes, Adidas is going to do the deal. Nike's going to do the deal. He wants to go to Nike. His agent has already pre-approved the deal with Nike. I'm like, let me tell you.
Okay, so the agent pre-approved the deal with Nike. He wants to go to Nike. Steve Stout is Team Reebok. This is what he's setting up. I'm not saying this is 100% true or not. I'm just saying how he's painting the scene. All right. So let's just muse a little bit and take it as though what he's saying is facts, because we haven't heard this from LeBron. We haven't heard much from we don't have anything else to go on right now. So let's see where this goes.
How you deal with this? In the record business, when you want to sign somebody, you give them the money right there in the front. Like, you know what? Whatever you think the number is, we'll give you this signing bonus right now to not even take the other meetings. Because I figure if you're meeting me, you're really considering it.
Right.
I'm going to give you a signing bonus to make on top of what you think you should get, so that there's no reason for you to take the other meetings.
And that's the play. And that's how artists end up with the 360. Athletes go broke because they get less than what they should have actually had, because they didn't take the better meeting. And so LeBron did the right thing of turning down $10 million. Well, I'm going to let Steve tell it. Even if he is lying, I'm going to let him tell it.
$10 million is the number. He calls his wife. This is when I seen some balling shit. He calls his wife. When we land on the FBO, there's a $10 million personal check waiting at the thing, because we're going right to the office. I'm leading the pitch to LeBron and Maverick and his agent at the time. I can't remember this guy's name. Aaron Gordon. Doing the pitch, doing the whole thing, and we get to the final stage, and Paul's going to present him the check. Paul presents him the check. I remember staring at his face. This is huge. We're going to sign LeBron James. We leave the room, we come back. When he leaves the check and says he's going to take the other meetings.
In big time,
He said you're going to take the other meetings. All right. So he turns down the check, essentially, is what happens. That's so to have the mindset, but according to the story, so there's something that I missed, right? Because I only watched that clip one time before this. I can't say that he's lying. You can say that he's lying. It's perfectly fine for you to say that he's lying. I can't say that the man's lying because he's talking about his own experience and whatnot. None of us were really there. But Butterfly Jones, you seem to have a different take on it. If he's lying and you're actually from Akron, so I ain't gonna doubt or discredit or discount your experience either, right? But the way that Steve painted it, he was already about to be locked in, or was already locked into Nike. He just didn't execute yet. They tempted him with a $10 million check. He turned it down, and then, the rest is history. He went with Nike. And Nike is the bigger company. Let's just be honest. Nike is the bigger company out of, New Balance, Reebok, Skechers, the whole nine. Nike is the big dog. So if he got 10 million, he probably figured if he got 10 million check, and they were eager to write that 10 million check for Reebok, damn, I could probably get 20, 30, probably even 50 million with Nike. Again, not a sports fan. I don't deal in that. So I don't know exactly how much that deal was worth. It could have been $100 million. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point, I'm looking at the nigga that's trying to. If I get $100 million, I'm looking at the nigga that's trying to sign me for 10 is like, nigga, you knew I was worth 100 million. You gonna give me 10. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. So I'll be looking at you sideways the rest of your life. Every time I see your ass. That's probably what got 50's. That sort of activity is probably what got 50 ready to smack him courtside. 10 mil for 10 years. That's what the Nike deal was. 10 mil for 10 years. Okay. Well, I'd rather take all the money up front and then get piecemealed out for. But no, that's how athletes go broke. That's how I got to remind myself. Getting all the money at what? That's how athletes go broke. That's how lottery winners go broke, because they don't have the infrastructure, and they usually take the lump sum payment instead of taking the recurring payments. Did you know that there was actually 2 ways that lottery winners can get paid out? Lottery winners can get paid out either via lump sum. They could get paid out either via lump sum, or they could get paid on a recurring basis. I don't know if it's annual, monthly, quarterly. I don't get into all that. Most people go with the lump sum because they want all the money at once, because it's nice to look at all that money in your bank account, all of that. I can't wait to see, like, well, no, because I wouldn't even have it all in one bank account, because the FDIC only covers a $250,000. So I wouldn't put $10 million in one place. It would be stupid, especially in a savings account. It would be stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's why if Steve Stout was really looking out for LeBron, he would have given him the game, because I didn't know. My ear did catch this now. My ear did catch this. He wrote him a personal check. He wrote him a personal check. Okay, that's dope. That's what's up. He wrote him a personal check. He clearly said personal check. I heard him say with his own mouth. See, even if he's lying, the truth comes out some sort of way. But why not write the check to his business, or show him how to open up a business and have that business funded with that check, with that money? See what I'm saying? Because now, if I'm funding a business with that money, now I'm off to the races. I can do stuff from a business standpoint. I can operate as a business instead of me being the individual basketball player. I can be a DBA. I can operate as an LLC. And now that sponsorship, where you're pouring all that money into me as a player, we can now do a joint venture and really turn up. Now I could take that, we could throw that money in the pot, turn up on marketing and whatnot, and now I get a slice of the proceeds from all the shoes that I'm selling, instead of you just paying me on the front end and me not having any skin in the game, not taking that risk with you, because that's really what it boils down to. When you have the joint venture, you're now taking the risk with the other entity, whereas if you're just getting the payout, you're not entitled to any of the profit from those sales, because you were just being used as a marketing piece. You were just being sponsored, as opposed to going in a joint venture and you taking that risk along with the bigger company. JV every time when you're dealing with a bigger company, JV. Because you're dealing with a reputable company anyway. They've already thought out a lot of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? So all you have to do is do what's requested and required of you to maintain that deal. And you know what I'm saying? You'll get less of a payout on the front end, but that back end is going to be amazing. That back end would be in fucking incredible. Nike Sprite Gatorade at 17. Okay. Yeah, I remember the LeBron Gatorade commercials for sure. And the Sprite commercials for sure. That's when Sprite was doing a lot of weird shit with like neon shit. I remember that shit. But we're talking about the minority mindset versus the majority mindset. Everybody's talking about LeBron, but very few people are doing what LeBron did in order to level up their own lifestyle. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. I think the NBA stopped, bro. I'm from going to Jordan. What? I'm trying to make out this sentence that you wrote, Jones. Chicho, what's happening? What's happening? Salute. Salute. Salute to the ones. That's why I'm calling everybody that rocks with me. I'm calling y'all the ones. I'm calling y'all the ones because I would like to see us in the 1%. So that's why I'm not calling us 1%ers. I'm calling us just the ones out of every 100, which I know is still the 1%. Simmer down. I'm just calling us the ones. Instead of the 1%, we're the ones. We're the ones that think with the minority mindset as opposed to the majority mindset. You know what I'm saying? Or at least we try to. We look at what's actually valuable versus what, you know what I'm saying, isn't that valuable, but is based off of FOMO, YOLO, peer pressure, all of that stuff. We actually make informed decisions over here based off of our own thinking patterns. I don't even like the term. I'm gonna let y'all in on something about me. In this social media era, I don't even like the term follower. I don't like that it's called follower on most social media platforms. Like I got over 20,000 followers on Facebook. I know y'all, when I say that, I know y'all like, well, where are they on your YouTube channels? Valid question. I don't really promote my shows or my content on my Facebook. I don't promote the shows because I want, when I enter a quote unquote space, when I enter YouTube, I like to see what's already there, who can already gravitate to me and who I can get to rock with me. And then introduce other people along with it. Like I have a whole method of how I like to do things. I don't like the term follower. D Most High. Salute. You said you'd be over here and you are the truth, sir. Highly appreciate you for sliding through. For sliding on me. You know what I'm saying?
Shit like that.
Shout out to everybody that's in here.
Shit like that.
You know what I'm saying? Rocking with your boy. Shout out to everybody rocking with your boy. But that's just the way that I like to move, is that I like to, it's like plants, right? Well, let's talk about agriculture real quick. It's like plants. It's like plants. If the soil isn't fertile, that plant is going to die. If the soil isn't fertile, that plant is going to die. You know what I'm saying? Where never be a follower. Never be a follower. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically going to get slotted into the leader category. But I've seen people who vehemently follow people. It's like, perfect example, I saw another clip of Cardi B today, and she's likely lost fans because of it. It's like that whole, like, let's take her hit song WAP with her and Megan Thee Stallion. Atrocious song in my opinion, egregious. It shouldn't have been the lead single to me. That song in particular wasn't lead single material. I'm driving LeBron because we off that topic. Get off LeBron's dick, basically, is the part of that segment. Appreciate you keeping your word. We appreciate that at the Word Up podcast. Salute. But when it comes to, I have this phrase I say all the time. Never trust a salesman that doesn't partake in the thing that they're selling you. I'm going to repeat that. Never trust a salesman that doesn't or admittedly wouldn't partake in the thing that they're trying to sell you. Reason why I bring Cardi B up is because, and I did this on the show called Hypocrisy. It's another thing about keeping the ground fertile, but we're going to break it down in a second. When Cardi B said, you know what I'm saying, she don't cook, she don't clean, let me tell you how I got this ring. Offset posted up on IG. Offset posted up on IG. A video of her cleaning, actually cleaning up after a party that they had. So she does clean. But the standard that has been set in hip hop is that everybody is supposed to be true to what they say on the mic. That was the standard in hip hop. It's not anymore. Because the most successful, straight cap. We know this now. But so many people buy into it. And Cardi B said herself, well, she didn't say herself. On another video, Cardi B wanted to keep her daughter from hearing Mommy's song, WAP. She had a knee-jerk reaction. She wasn't being cerebral about it. She was just saying stuff. She had a knee-jerk reaction about it. Oh, no, sweetie, that's not for you. That's not grown folks music. That's not kiddie music. No. So why is it okay? There's a Kid Bop version of WAP. I think it's called Wings and Pizza. Someone let me know. Kids Bop version of songs is just the gateway to the real thing. Because once the kid knows that they're in a child's place, what have we always done when we were growing up and we understood that we were in a child's place and we understood that positioning to be watered down? You know what I'm saying? The kiddie table at Thanksgiving dinner was a smaller channel. A smaller table than the adults table, right? The kiddie table was a smaller table than the adults table, rightfully so. But you couldn't wait to get to that. You couldn't wait to get to the big kids or the adult table. You was just sitting there in the little kids table, sunk down in them little chairs, just looking up at the adults that were bigger than you in stature, and it's like, I'm gonna be there one day. You couldn't wait to get up there. You couldn't wait to get there. They had all types of alcoholic beverages on the table. Man, what does that taste like? What does that taste like? What is Hennessy? I wonder what Hennessy is. And then your drunk uncle fuck around, give you a shot of Hennessy, fuck your whole throat up, your whole esophagus just on fire. Your whole throat just Words tell you like the standards in hip hop are capped nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Standards in hip hop are capped nowadays. It is what it is. It is what it is. Unfortunate. It's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in an era where you get your ass whooped. I'll be honest. If you was at a show and someone called you out for not living by your lyrics, you'd likely get your ass whooped for not being about what you speak about on the microphone. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's what it was, Chacho. You get your drunk uncle fuck around, give you some Hennessy or some Woodford Reserve. You know what I'm saying? One time my auntie, when I was like in I was early in high school, they gave me that Everclear. I didn't touch alcohol until I was 21. After that, I was like, nah. I was 16. Fuck around, gave me some Everclear. I didn't want nothing alcoholic after that. My 16-year-old esophagus just going down. I felt my entire lung structure when that shit was going down. Like the entire structure of my lungs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she was on a live, no doubt. So anyway, I digress. But back to the Cardi B, right? She was on live, right? She was on her IG live, and she's trying to get her child away from listening to her hit song WAP with Meg Thee Stallion. So she's out here peddling to your daughters. She's out here peddling music that your daughters are going to listen to, and she encourages your daughters to listen to. And for some reason, her own daughter cannot listen to this music. The majority, and I've said this on panels too, right? I've said this, you can find this somewhere in the YouTube annals, YouTube archives. Why is it that is predatory? Why certain things that men do are viewed as predatory? But I'm not even going to say men. No. Why is it that certain things that people partake in isn't viewed as predatory? Such as, wow, they make those songs because it's raunchy and it doesn't necessarily have a good message, but it goes into our lower nature. You know, sex, the whole nine. Sex sells, and the reason why it sells is because it plays on the lower nature, the animalistic nature of most humans. It is what it is. But when somebody puts something out that they aren't wanting to receive for their own life or their own family, for their own daughters, for their own children, why is that not viewed as predatory behavior? They're trying to make a buck off of selling you something that they themselves will not partake in. How is that not predatory? You want to talk about predatory lending with the schools and whatnot, but you had to sign up for that. You had to sign up for that. You know what I'm saying? So if predatory lending is a thing and you signed up for it in good conscience, you signed up for that credit card, you swiped that credit card, you signed the signature on the receipt after you swiped that credit card and the transaction was conducted. You signed the receipt. Might have even showed your license. I actually haven't I haven't had to show my ID in some years, right? A while ago, you had to show ID. Now they just believe you are who you say you are. You just signed some shit. Could be just squiggles on the receipt. Probably not even your actual name and how it looks. So why is it that isn't viewed as predatory? Just a question. Just a question. Why isn't it viewed as predatory for someone to sell you something that they themselves will not partake in? It's like if we did this with anything else, if we did anything with that was like food based or need based, like I don't go to Chinese stores where they don't eat the food that they cook for me. As a matter of fact, early today, I picked up some takeout from a buffet, and the only reason I trust that buffet is because the Asian people there actually eat there. Like, whole families of Asian people. It was dope. It's the dopest thing I've ever seen in life. I'll be honest. Well, not the dopest thing I've ever seen in life, but one of the dopest things I've ever seen in life is like not just one, but several families at an Asian buffet. Several Asian families at an Asian buffet. And they actually eat the food that's at the buffet. They don't try to do some sneaky shit where they order something off the menu. There is no menu. It's just the buffet. And they eat the food there. That let me know that that place was safe to eat at, because a lot of Chinese stores, the food that you catch them, like when they're on break and you catch them eating, they eating shit that ain't even on the menu, but they cooked it though. And I'm like, why can't I get that? Why don't you serve me this? Why? You ain't eating what I'm eating. Now I'm wondering what I'm eating because you ain't eating what I'm eating. So if the food ain't good enough for you, why are you serving it to me? You know what I'm saying? Like that sort of thing. Why isn't that predatory? You selling me something that you yourself would not partake in. I go back to the example of during the pandemic, the value of my Jeep, because everybody was off work, the value of my Jeep shot through the roof. Could have sold it off, made a decent profit, but I actually like that car. So, nah. It's got leather heated seats. It also has a keyless start. So I don't, like in the wintertime, I don't need to do the whole deal of scraping off my car. It's got keyless start, so I could just start it from my apartment. It's been years since I've actually scraped anything off of a car in the wintertime. Fucking love it. So why is it that it's okay for you to sell me something that I'm not going to, that you are not going to partake in? You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at Cardi B. That's how I look at these situations when people find themselves in these situations where they tend to claim to be the victim. But no, you were complicit in that. So if you're complicit in the music that you listen to, if you're complicit in those credit cards and whatnot, you're a part of the majority mindset, where you don't want to take accountability. You don't want to be responsible for your own actions. You don't want to be intentional about the way that you're moving. And that's what it comes down to for me. People are going to later in life complain about all the time that they wasted and all the stuff that they didn't get to do and all the. But then again, there's a minority out here of individuals who are doing exactly what they set out to do each and every day, or at least in the direction of what they set out to do each and every day. And that's why I view LeBron is dude that delayed gratification, even though he knew that he had deals coming down the line. He put in the work. He had the work ethic, he had the skills, he had the talent, he capitalized on all his opportunities. And now that he made something of himself, everybody who wants to pick away at the king. It's crazy to me. Another person like that, I find, and I've talked about this person this would be the third show of me talking about this individual. But this individual is noteworthy, and she needs to be talked about. Hold on, is it this one? No. I need to reset that. Hold on. This one. Candace Owens. I know people are going to be rolling their eyes at Candace Owens, but she had several interesting takes with YouTuber Destiny. I don't know if y'all know who Destiny is. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Destiny. But he's a YouTuber that likes to debate. He debates pretty often. He analyzes certain things. He breaks certain things down. And he recently made comments with Candace, and Candace pulled up on him in real life. And it was dope to see somebody actually pull up on Destiny in real life. I don't know if he's done it often. I don't know if he's done it before. But IRL, I will always be a fan of IRL streams because it's just a different vibe. It's a different feel because you're in the space with the person. See, when people are online, and I run into this all the time in YouTube, when people are online and they're not in close proximity to each other, they feel as though that they have carte blanche to say anything, any egregious thing, because there's no threat of immediate repercussion. You know what I'm saying? There's no threat of immediate. There's no threat of immediate repercussion. There's no physical violence threatening. There's no, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you. Matter of fact, in certain situations, they wouldn't even talk about slapping the shit out of you. You know not to say certain things because they warrant you getting the taste smacked out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know this. And versus like Destiny's energy level versus like in real life versus having the real life discussion and having the conversation with Candace, it was different levels of energy because he was really raging when he was reviewing her commentary, but when he's with her in person, he doesn't turn up as much. It was something interesting to know. But we're gonna get into this video so you can see what I'm talking about as we're talking about it, as we do this deep dive and breakdown. Let's get to it.
Worldwide popular, like the most popular. Also see the music and the art kind of reflect those conditions. Or the policing situations that they'd had to be a part of, or drugs destroying their communities, et cetera, et cetera. And then those people turning to crime, that you also see the music and the art kind of reflect those conditions. And then those pieces of art that get created, especially the music, end up being like worldwide popular. Like the most popular genre of music in the world is like hip hop and rap. So when I look at people pushing certain stuff today, I'm like, okay, well, we got two really big, in my opinion, I went to school for music. I don't know if you talk about the saxophone or whatever. So we had two really big contributions to the world of music from America. One was jazz, that came basically from the black community. And then the second was like rap and hip hop. These forms of music become popular. People see that it's popular. They want to get involved. Obviously, the money men, the people on top, they want to kind of continue to push this because it's popular and everybody around the world consumes it. I feel like there are a lot of market forces at work that kind of perpetuate this and keep this happening. And that feels pretty satisfying to me to explain what's going on. So when we ask, like, why is it a woman twerking with somebody's face in her butt cheeks? Because, well, for whatever reason, that's like what the worldwide culture seems to want to see right now. And then on the other side, it feels like from people, I don't want to just say conservatives, but I would say broadly speaking, I guess I'll say on your side in general, it feels like there's this idea that there's this much more intentional or like malevolent force working behind the scenes.
Yes, there is. And so I'm going to push back on what you're suggesting here. You're suggesting that this reflects the community and they're sharing their stories in a way that makes sense. That's completely not true. Okay, WAP does not reflect the circumstances that Black people are living in. Singing about your vagina and how hard it's getting pounded is not the circumstance of living in the hood. I come from nothing. It's not that did not make me feel closer to the circumstances that I grew up in. And unfortunately, that's actually what people are telling Black Americans. Like, actually, it's working the other way. You're putting something, your eyes and your ears are the windows to the soul. And you're basically, when you celebrate someone, and I'm using Cardi B here as an example because I think people are probably more familiar with her than they are with Sexy Red. When you put someone like that on the Grammys stage, which is, again, a decision being made. When I was growing up, the best, most talented people were on the Grammy stage. It was something you could watch with your family. And you still had poor people. You still had, you still had poor people. You still had people that were living in the hood, okay? We didn't need somebody talking about their vagina in order to feel seen. So what you're doing is you're setting the stage for younger girls who aspire to celebrities to say, okay, well, if I mimic that behavior, I too can become famous. What you're actually doing is you're setting the idols that people are going to look up to and people are going to think this is what I should aspire to. So it's actually working in the exact opposite way.
Can I ask a question? In that like evolution of things, so if we look at like WAP in particular, hasn't it generally been the case that music is always kind of pushing these sexual boundaries. So it might have been Elvis grabbing his crotch and dancing. It might have been Michael Jackson's dancing is incredibly suggestive if you've seen that. It might have been in Woodstock, all the loser hippies talking about love, sex, and rock and roll and drugs. Wouldn't like WAP just be kind of like the next evolution in a long chain of...
Pushing boundaries is not degeneracy, okay? And so here's what I'll say to you. Why don't you pull up the lyrics to WAP and read them right now?
Well, I don't. Why would I need to do that?
Oh, it's just Woodstock. We're just pushing. We're just pushing the boundaries a little bit. You probably have never even read the lyrics to WAP.
I think I did because I think Ben Shapiro had a huge thing about it.
He couldn't have said. You may have seen him reading the sanitized version of WAP, not the one that is not sanitized. Like the sanitized one, which is still bad, that she can perform at the Grammys, is what he read. You should read the lyrics to WAP before you make commentary that it's a reflection of what Black Americans are living through, or it's just somebody that's pushing a boundary. It's not that.
How do you explain the fact that like WAP was like a #1 like worldwide hit then?
Because what I said to you is that they are artificially creating artists at this point. There's no question. And by the way, the Diddy docs, which I found to be a very compelling point, was that Diddy said to the guy, allegedly, who was the producer, that if he was willing to engage in homosexual behavior with him, that he would get him Producer of the Year Grammy. Okay, so what does that tell you?
Actually, I'm gonna stop it here because Uncle Luke, yeah, Uncle Luke, I know exactly what you're talking about. 2 Live Crew, pop that pussy, yeah. I understand all of that, but even Uncle Luke, in the case of Uncle Luke, and I will forever salute Uncle Luke and 2 Live Crew because they made a fundamental and monumental change in music and how it's distributed and accepted, because without their case, there would be no parental advisory sticker on any album. So I will forever give it up to Uncle Luke for that revolution in music, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to put out anything with any explicit lyrics. However, Uncle Luke is on record saying, oh no, I don't accept any of that behavior around me whatsoever. This is why Uncle Luke has never been caught up in any of these scandals. When you understand what the devil playground is, you understand that, okay, in order to leverage gain from the devil's playground, we parlay with it, but we don't partake in it. You understand what I'm saying? So even in the case of Uncle Luke, I would put him right there in hypocrisy with Cardi B. He sold girls on young girls on having fun, all of that stuff, but at the same time, ask him if he wants any of his daughters to partake in that lifestyle, in all of that fun that he facilitated for those girls, now women. Oh, no. He doesn't want to do it. No. He's on record saying, I don't. We don't do that over here. I'm a Christian man. I swear to God, he's on record saying it. I might have to find the clip later. But Uncle Luke is on record saying, we don't do that. In my personal life, that's why I've never been caught up in any R. Kelly scandal, any, Jay-Z scandal, any situations like that, because we move very different when the cameras are off and the music stops playing. We move very different. Even Too Short, I know you brought up Too Short, to a certain degree, Too Short moves a little different. You know what I'm saying? I've never, nor do I actually care to. I've heard of it, Butterfly Jones. Listen, when it comes to the case of Prince, right? I've heard of this. I don't want to partake in it. I don't want to see it. I've never cared to actually investigate to see whether it's true or not. I'm gonna have to take your word for it. I ain't trying to see Prince butt cheeks. I'm not. It's not what I want. It's not a valuable it's not a valuable expenditure of time for me. But pause. Me saying but and we talking about. But it may have happened. That's all I would say. If it did happen, Okay. That's one. If it did happen, but even Prince says that in I think in his last interview with Oprah, I recall Prince saying something to the effect of, I move in a particular fashion. Like he doesn't even cuss around his wife because he quote unquote respects his wife. He expects his wife not to cuss, and he doesn't cuss around his wife because quote unquote he respects his wife. So the way that he handles women, we're talking like the way that he handles women is probably different than the person he portrays on stage. We'll just see. We'll see. I'm gonna have to look up. So you're gonna have me digging through the crates, so to speak, on some Prince clips. But I hope I don't come across this one that you're talking about right here. I hope I don't. I pray. Jesus, please. No, I'm good. I am good. I'm really good on that. But what Candace is talking about is, the devolution. Of course, they are old by then. Well, yeah. Now, I understand that debauchery is typically something that we attribute to the young. And either you partook in some form of debauchery when you were young, or you didn't. And people expect that when you get older, and this is the trick that gets played on a lot of dudes, right? Because girls get theirs early. When the world opens up to girls at a young age. No, you bet not. You boy. Hold on. You better not. We gonna be fighting. I promise I'm gonna beat that ass. I better not see that in IG. I better not. You better not put that in my DMs. But you know what I'm saying? But this is the thing, and I don't want this to devolve into what I refer to as the boy girl conversation, right? I don't want this to devolve into what I refer to as the boy girl conversation. But it is very true and is very notable that because of how men are, women have access to places that most men don't. And I'm talking about young women and young men. When a girl reaches age 18, the world opens up to her. She doesn't necessarily have to do anything but be 18 in order for the world to open up to her. Now, a lot of women don't know how to navigate that space, and they end up in a few pitfalls as a result, because there's always a trade-off for whatever that you want to get. If you're 18, you probably had to do something in order to get that access, what have you. Or even the promise of that access to your body in return for access to, VIP section or being on a yacht or what have you. Some women are able to play the game where they can dangle the carrot for forever and ever and ever and never have to give it up and still get all of the access and all of the benefits for them being I'm so serious. You better not. But they get all of the access for them being of quote unquote of age. Boys, young men, age 18 plus, we got to work for ours. We got to grind. We got to get to it. It's literally that simple. It's literally that simple. We have to work for ours as young men. And so the fact that she's able to experience life at such a young age, and we are bogged down because we can experience some things, but we essentially have to work for most things. There's a disparity. There's a there's an unequal footing, if you would. That's what I mean to say. There's an unequal footing in life due to that. And a lot of dudes resent women for that and become, quote unquote incels and start hating women and whatever term you want to throw on them. As a result, but men get molded by those experiences. And when men get molded by those experiences, they can either sink into a Great Depression or they can turn up and be their greatest selves. And the fact that this entertainment thing encourages women to essentially give away all of their value, come out here thought bopping, being thought pockets, you know what I'm saying? Or little thought bots, whatever you want to refer to them as, while the boys are watching. Because make no mistake, the 18 to 25-year-old guy wants to get with the 18 to 25-year-old girl. But in most cases, he's unable to do so because she's looking at and has access to the 30 to 40-year-old dudes that, well, I'm not even going to go as far as say, actually, no, there's some cases where 18-year-olds get with 40-year-olds. So they're looking at the 30 to 40-year-old dudes that have all of the access, that have all of the things that, that have all of the access, have all of the equipment, have all of the money, and have already built themselves up sufficiently to whatever you spend on her really isn't anything. So there's a disparity there. That's what I was saying earlier. There's a disparity there. That's fine. So this is what Candace is actually speaking to, is the degradation of culture, where more and more of this type of music is being pushed on young women, and it's encouraging young women to become something that even the people who create this music and create this culture and cultivate this culture are not really on. Like I said, Cardi B said, she doesn't cook, she doesn't clean. We know that that's a lie, and that's erroneous. She puts out WAP, but doesn't want her daughter, rightfully so, to listen to WAP. So she is pushing out a product that she doesn't want her own family to partake in. She doesn't want her own daughter to partake in, but it's good for your daughter. I'm just laying out what's happening out here based off of what Candace is saying and based off of the way people are moving. Let's continue.
It means that the entire system is artificial. And by the way, this is something that Kanye said 10 years ago, or however long ago it was, when he took the trophy from Taylor Swift and said, like, this is all fake. This is not even based on merit anymore. And that is my point. The industry is not based on merit. It's not based on capitalism. It is based on selling ideas. So It is, who do we want to artificially make the person that every black girl will look up to, or who they will aspire to. And
so I can definitely understand that, like, maybe award shows can be rigged, or people can think different things about, who's being awarded based on merits for the Grammys or something like that. But like, WAP was genuinely, do you think it wasn't genuinely a popular song, or do you think that music execs have the ability to manufacture that desire publicly?
The latter. So if you start playing something tons of times on the airways and the latter, you can definitely make something popular. There are songs that I don't even like that I've heard so much that I know every single lyric to. And I'm like, I don't even know how I know every single lyric to the song, but it's received this many plays. You put it everywhere. You award the person, you invite them to bizarre circumstance. Like there's absolutely no reason that Cardi B is invited to sit down and ask questions to Joe Biden.
And this is the thing. And this is the thing that happens in the social media zeitgeist, this era that we're in. Right? I'm going to swap back to the big screen real quick because I don't feel like being confined to a tiny square for the moment. I'm going to swap back, but we're going to swap back to the video. But let me just break this up when I'm saying this, right? There's this thing that we're in. This is zeitgeist, the social media zeitgeist, where we're privy to the numbers. See, back in the day, and nobody ever actually talks about this or comes at it with this perspective, but that's why, hey, you can always come here for a different perspective. Back in the day, the television stations and the cable stations had all the ratings. What I mean by ratings, I mean you can see right now how many people are on this live stream. It's 2 people right now. I don't sweat the numbers because I know what I'm building. But you can see how many people in real time are on a live stream. You can see how many people are subscribed to a channel. You can see how many people have watched a video, how many people have liked a video. You can even see, if you care to sit there and count how many comments are under a video. In the olden days, when TV was first popping off, when it was in black and white, and when the color TV came out, really fucked the game up when the color TV came out, you couldn't tell these things. When you were watching a program, you were just watching a program. You couldn't tell who else was watching that program. You didn't know how many people watched it before you. You didn't know how many people on average even watch that channel, because they understood that the numbers would affect, that seeing the numbers would affect who would be more inclined to gravitate to what. Today in music, I've actually surveyed some young people because I myself am an artist. Actually, I have if you go to my OMNI ETC page on Instagram, you would know, if you go to my stories, if you watch my stories, you would know that I have a single coming out in April called Mission of a Writer. People understand, people tend to gravitate to what's already popping more so. It's like Amazon reviews. I've actually done market research for younger folks. Cause I'm usually on Grown Up Time. Yeah, you had the 5 channels back when it was just, when it was you had a little bit more when color TV came out, but back when it was black and white, you had only 5 stations. And let me tell you, there was no 24-hour broadcasting. After a certain time, they just played the national anthem. After a certain time, all the TV stations shut down and they would just broadcast the national anthem all night long. I'm hip. Look, Butterfly Jones, you talking to an old soul here. I used to be the antenna, you know what I'm saying, the one to adjust the antenna of my family. Did my job to perfection too. You know what I'm saying? Remember when you had to adjust the antenna, you wrap foil around it, and then you had to, you know what I'm saying, stand a certain way because the antenna couldn't support its own weight with the foil on it, so you had to stand there and stay there in order for the reception to get through. I did all that shit. Yeah, my grandparents had the old joint where it would click. Like, remember the the TVs with the knobs that they would click to make sure that it was in place, and click, 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 click. Yeah, all of that. So so we're in a zeitgeist right now. We're in an era where, especially to the youth, to the kids, if your song isn't already doing like 100,000, isn't already doing 100,000 streams before they click on it, they're going to click off it. Most in this era don't give content the time of day if it's not already doing certain numbers. Now you have to ask yourself, well, how do the record companies and all of these places ensure numbers? Well, part of it is that they sign AAA acts. They sign very high class acts that already have a lot of notoriety and have a following to them. Another side of the game is that there's this thing called bot farming, where there are literal rooms filled to the brim with phones from waist high to the ceiling. Nothing but a bunch of devices. Because I know it sounds, to those of you that keep up with the consumerism on technology, I know it sounds wild because the latest phone costs like, thousands of dollars or, several $100s. But the older phones that still work, the older models that still work, probably run you about $200, $250, maybe $150 if you get them from Facebook Marketplace like that. So it's real easy to set this system up. All you need to do is buy several devices, have several accounts on those devices, register several accounts on those devices. Each device is logged into its own Spotify, its own YouTube, just erroneous emails. Just all you have to do is set up an email. So this is what they do. They go 0001-2 at gmail.com, then 0001-3 at gmail.com, and 00, and then they keep going down the sequence and keep going down the order and keep going and keep going and keep going. They might sprinkle in an actual name here like Steven-2024 at gmail.com, whatever, right? Then what they do is that they set up marketing to invite the record companies over, both independent and the ones that they know have the bag, which would be the major record labels. And those major record labels sign up for this service so that they can guarantee marketing numbers, certain numbers, projected numbers to their artists. So those artists are getting number projections, but they don't understand that it's bots. It's not actual listeners. It's inflated numbers. We used to have a phrase called, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Now I go with the phrase, men lie, women lie, and the numbers get manipulated. And that's what ends up happening. The numbers get manipulated. So that when people see something, oh, it's already doing the numbers. It's already going to 1 million. It's already, let me tune in because people are going to be talking about this. This one's doing crazy numbers. Let me tune in. It gives people a certain air of because this is already doing phenomenally well. I don't want to get left out of what people are eventually going to be talking about when I get back to work on Monday. I mean, shit, that I'm not saying Club Shay Shay did, but shit, that Club Shay Shay video with Cat Williams did 60 million. I know they're going to be talking about this on Monday. Let me tune in. I'm not saying that Club Shay Shay did that. I'm pretty certain that was organic. I'm pretty certain that was organic. I'm not 100% positive, but I'm pretty certain. Because Club Shay Shay's platform isn't attached to the normal, you know what I'm saying, the normal mainstream network. It's independent of that. So I can't say beyond of a shadow of a doubt, but all I can say is pretty certain, right? But when you see these artists come out of nowhere and they're doing hundreds of millions of views, and you actually look at the material, like, does anybody remember Lil Nas X? Oh. What happened to Lil Nas? I haven't heard anything from Lil Nas X in a minute. I haven't heard him. He hasn't been twerking on Satan in a minute. Lil Nas hasn't been twerking on Satan in a minute. He hasn't been doing anything. You understand what I'm saying? His level of visibility for a multi-platinum selling artist is rather low right now. Shoot, Kendrick Lamar's name still buzzes. If you say Kendrick Lamar, people who be like, oh yeah, he's sure to drop anytime, because Kendrick Lamar doesn't even put out music like that. Albums. He doesn't put out albums like that. So it's the thing. A lot of people in this era will not look at certain things if the numbers aren't at a certain level. And then when the numbers get to be a certain level, then people are more inclined to support it. They're more inclined to roll in because you got more activity in the chat, because a lot of people in the chat now are together. There's a lot of activity going on in the chat because everybody is now tuned into the same thing because they all saw the numbers. And I know how the game goes because I've seen it. And this brings me back to what I was saying earlier about me watering or making sure that the ground was fertile over here before I start heavily promoting. Because this version of Word Up Podcast is actually the 4th iteration. You wouldn't actually know that if I didn't just tell you. It's actually the 4th iteration. I've never been banned off of social media. Well, I did have something happen funny with one of my Facebook accounts, but I haven't been banned off of YouTube or nothing like that. I started doing this on my music channel, and then I swapped it over to Facebook for a while on one of my Facebook pages, like the pages, not the personal page where I got the 20,000, but one of the pages. You know the difference between a personal account and a Facebook page that you promote for a business or something like that. I got a few of those. So I moved it over there for a while, but I never actually made a channel for the podcast. And I decided to do that just to have it be in its own isolated place and have it grow and nurture it until it's ready for more people to receive. And this is the reason why I don't promote it on my Facebook, is because I actually want to generate activity here first. Genuine, authentic, all original, actual people, no bots, never botted. I want that here first. And then I'll be more inclined to invite more people in, because then when I take the numbers that I do on Facebook, bring that and have that translate to over here where there are already people, now we turning up. Now we getting somewhere. So this is me fertilizing the land. This is me fertilizing the soil. That's the stage that I'm in. Now that I found a plot of land called the Word Up Podcast on YouTube, I made this plot of land. I carved this out. I built this. Now I'm fertilizing it with content, getting people that are already of the YouTube, that are already in YouTube, to come through, see what it is. Shout out to everybody that came today. Then I'll invite the people that are in my other social medias and my other places and on my Facebook and all of that, so that when they do come over here, they have something to come over to. And it's not just a page with like 3 videos on it. You know what I'm saying? I want them to see that, oh no, I actually put work into this. I grinded it out. And I got a subscriber count independent of whatever else the fuck is going on any of my other social medias. Because once people see that, then they'll appreciate it more. Then I know how this works. I know how the game go. So I don't care about, you know what I'm saying, the majority. I don't care about the majority mindset. This is about the minority mindset. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not built like Butterfly Jones. Shout out to Butterfly Jones for rocking with me on damn near every episode of Word Up Podcast, whether or not I get the link to him in time or not. And when I don't get the link into him on time, he still shows up. Salute to you. Salute to the people. I'm a remember. I got wide ass nostrils that go up to a big ass head with a brain in it that remembers a lot of stuff that people tend to forget. You know what I'm saying? So it's about the majority mind. It's about the minority mindset. Excuse me. It's about the minority mindset versus the majority mindset. Are you able to really hold it down when nobody's looking? Are you really able to hold it down when everybody ain't rocking with you? Are you really able to continue to work, put in the work, do the work ethic, do the due diligence, have what it takes? Are you really willing to compete? Or did you just, see somebody else do something and figured you would do it too? Or you see somebody do something that you feel you're incapable of doing, and so you've given up on even attempting to compete. So now you've regulated yourself into the commentator section where you don't really do anything. You just talk about other people. I don't know. I don't have an answer to these questions. But let's get back to the video, as I think I've effectively articulated that point. Let's continue. Let's go back.
Received this many plays, you put it everywhere, you award the person, you invite them to bizarre circumstance. Like, there's absolutely no reason that Cardi B is invited to sit down and ask questions to Joe Biden.
So
in no scenario, unless you are really making an effort to legitimize this person and to make this person aspirational. Again, this is not an insult to Cardi. I actually think that personality-wise, she's got a ton of talent and she's interesting, and I've said great things about her on Love and Hip Hop, and there are elements of her that make her a star. But what I am saying is that a lot of that is manufactured, and I just don't see how anybody, when looking.
Don't you think it's entirely possible or easily possible? So I feel like there's so many things wrong with this. So one is, why wouldn't competing record labels start pushing talent that's actually popular that people want to hear? I think that would be a big question. A second thing would be, how can we explain the top-down domination of this type of media popularity through all of our reality TV shows, all of our TikTok stuff, all of our YouTube videos, and the music industry? And then how can you explain that all happening worldwide?
Sure.
It feels like that to try to explain this through people that are exercising control on these platforms would require more control than anybody has ever been able to exercise on any platform ever. And they're doing it on a multi-country, multi-stage level.
It's very easy, actually. It's a very basic concept pertaining to governments. They need propaganda. Hollywood is propaganda. You should, for those of you that are watching this live, go listen to the conversation that Joe Rogan had with Cat Williams, where he talked about all of this. And he said, I know you think that you're being entertained. And this is somebody that comes from inside of the industry. And he starts talking about the Diddy stuff, the idea that in order to climb higher, you kind of have to engage in nefarious behavior, and how he was collecting all of this information, and he was speaking out about what was happening inside of the industry. And he said it is twofold. You might be being entertained, but they are making decisions about what will entertain you. And a great circumstance in which he presented that as evidence of that is transgenderism. And he asked hold on.
Okay. She's spitting. She going off right now. She going off. But I want to introduce this concept. Expound upon, rather. I want to expound upon this concept that she's talking about, right? About entertainment being propaganda. Even though you're being entertained by it, the message that's being put out is affecting your mind, the way that you think, how you live your life, and things of that nature. The things that we find ourselves entertained by kind of shape our mentality, even though the people that are entertaining us don't necessarily live that reality, right? This is what she's putting forth. This is what she's putting forth. Can anybody, Butterfly Jones, matter of fact, can you tell me why the Colosseum was so popular in ancient Rome and Greece? Why the Colosseum was a thing? Anybody in the chat? Can anybody tell me? Not that I want to lean on you, Butterfly Jones, but you usually have a perspective, you know what I'm saying, Butterfly Jones, that, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you be correcting me, and that's what this platform is about in essence. Isn't not just me being a talking head up here. It's about us having the conversation, having the dialogue, and you saying yours and me actually listening out and us getting to the truth of it. Like the Steve Stout thing. What was the reason? What was the purpose of, what was the true purpose of the Colosseum of ancient Rome? The reason why there was I'm gonna have to go soon because my phone is about to die, and that's how I control a good portion of the show. The reason why there was the reason why that the Colosseum was a thing was because a lot of people in Rome were impoverished. Like I said earlier at the top of the program, in every business model, in every society, usually the majority find themselves without, and the minority find themselves with. So people went to the Colosseum not just to be entertained. Sorry, that's my antivirus being triggered. Usually doesn't get triggered by this website. But the reason why there's a lot more ads on this website than normal. The reason why the Colosseum was so popular is because most people couldn't afford food. Most people couldn't eat, but they gave out free food at the Colosseum. It was in effect, it was also free entry. So it was a way to control the populace and how the populace moved throughout the day, because most people would find themselves at the place where you get free food, you get to see live entertainment in the form of people killing each other. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, it was a way to control the masses and how they move. If you were preoccupied with seeing people kill each other, if you were preoccupied with the need to feed and you not having any food at home, then you would definitely go to the Colosseum. So everybody went to the Colosseum through the day. And then they returned to their hovels, their huts, what have you, in the evening and afternoon. Just so the government could have, the emperor and, you know, the emperor, his delegates, and what have you, and the council didn't have any uprising. You keep people entertained. You control their food supply. So people are like, oh, this is great. I got free food and a show and an all-day show. But over time, you're not actually working yourself into a better position. You're just being entertained every single day. You're momentarily escaping the circumstances of you being impoverished or whatever it is that you're going through at the time. You're being fed for free, but you're not actually doing anything productive. You can't coordinate an uprising for the unfair day-to-day circumstances in your life. And you may not even view them as being unfair circumstances because, well, shit, they're feeding me whenever I go to this show. Ain't things like fruits, nuts, olives, bread, but not really. It was just a bunch of snacking food. It wasn't anything like, it wasn't meat or anything like that. And I think in Rome's history, there was about 16 food shortages. There's 16 times that, let me look. Identified 16 instances of food shortages in Rome between 509 BC and 290. Hold on, let me. I don't even know if that button's gonna work. Hold on, because everything's been so wonky today. I don't know if that button's gonna work. Hold on, let me get in here. Man. Okay, let's see. It might. Did it pop up? It did. Okay. So we just gonna identify it on Ancient World from People's Ask section. As you can see here, it says Peter Garnsney identified 16 instances of food shortages in Rome between 509 BC. That's the traditional date found in for the foundation of the Republic, to 296 BCE. Not BCE, BC. If anybody's confused as to why they're referring to a lesser number as a advancement in time, that's how BC is calculated. Anytime before BC, the further back you go in BC, the increase in number is an earlier time period, and the decrease in numbers is a later time period, more towards the future. So we're looking at about a 300-year span. 16 times within 300 years, there was a food shortage. People couldn't even afford what food was available. Understand? So it's a distraction tactic. It's to keep you distracted from actually doing anything that would advance yourself or your family from getting into a better position in life. It's a way to keep you down, so to speak. So when we take in these messages, we, especially with our adult brains, we have to have a level of discernment. And that's why I can see all of the music that I grew up with, where it was Kanye West, Lil Wayne, hip hop mostly. Or, I also like Smash Mouth, Alien Ant Farm, Fall Out Boy, Evanescence, 3 Days Grace, Maroon 5, all of that. I can see why certain things were looked down upon from older generations as I was growing up. It's like, you didn't understand it. You don't understand. That was me as a teen. You don't understand, all right? Kanye's deep. And bro, No, I didn't understand because I didn't understand how the world works. So it's easy for an artist to communicate messages to me who understands nothing about the world when I'm a teenager. And that's what we're running into today with the youth. The youth thinks that the adults don't understand what's going on out here. It was like, no, you don't understand because you don't know anything about stocks, crypto. I mean, there are kids that do. There are kids, they're legit teenage millionaires now, which is a wonderful thing, but that would have never happened in my time because the information wasn't as accessible as it is today. So salute to them, and that's dope to see. But the message that's being put out here and the propaganda that's being pushed to keep men and women separate, you know what I'm saying? To keep men and women separate and to incentivize, or not even incentivize because they don't even give you any light at the end of the tunnel, but to shape the minds of young women into believing that if they open their legs more often and more often, for some reason it's going to be more fulfilling in life for them to do so. To, you know, be out here, as one young lady quoted to me, be on a rampage. That's what one young lady said. See, when it actually comes to saying what it is, when it actually comes time to say what it actually is, we abstain from saying what it actually is. There's a bunch of whole shit happening out here. But we don't like to say whole shit. We like to say, oh, I'm a sex worker, or oh, I'm a free spirit, or oh, da 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 da. When in former generations, it was easy. You was just a hoe. And again, I said it before, I say it again, I respect hoes. I can't respect half of hoes. I can respect hoes. If you a hoe and you know you a hoe, and you proudly say that you a hoe and this is your profession, more power to you. This is what you want. You want some hoe shit? Okay, you want some hoe shit. So that's why, in a way, I can respect a Sexy Red more so than a Cardi B. Because Sexy Red owns her wholeness. Can't take it from her. She owns it. She keeps it. Same thing with Sukihana. But they wild for that one song where they saying, I think Sukihana said that she want to suck on the president. Jesus. Anyway. But we'll see what they get, what those ladies get when their children come of age, and you know what I'm saying, what they're going to do about it when their children start listening to their music and what their children, because I say this all the time as well. Angela White, aka Black China, she was done disservice by her mother, who her mother is still on some whole shit. Tokyo Tony. Her mother was a hoe. She was porn star, doing some freak nasty shit, and she raised her daughter to be the same way. And thank God that, you know, she somewhat came out of that. But I mean, you did what you did, Black China. It is what it is. We all seen you with your booty cheeks out, your booty meat out. And we all saw your sex videos and whatnot. The damage is done. You're going to be what you're going to be. Now, I hope that you know what I'm saying, find some peace with that. But it lit certain decisions, even decisions that I make as a man, certain decisions that I make limit my options. That's why there's a reason why I decided to come. I know people like to knock people for not using their real name on social media. I do have profiles where my real name can be found. I just don't have a picture on there yet. But I do have profiles where my real name can be found. However, I choose in large part not to come to social media to interact with social media with my government name, mainly for the protection of my family. Because I plan on being great. Much like LeBron, much like anybody else who's great. And if there's nothing else that these niggas like to do with their time than to find out who you are or where your family members stay and all of this weird doxing shit, because people got way too much time on their hands. So really, I come to social media as Omni, etc., because I'll be damned if you touch a hair on one of mine. I will go duck hunting. And people go missing every day. Just want to remind somebody. Anyway, let's get back to this Candace Owens. Let's go.
Okay. He asked a question which should be answered. He said to Joe Rogan, and he laughed about it. He was like, a guy wears a dress on the red carpet, okay? And then the media tells you how great he wore the dress. And he's like, he said, tell me one situation where he didn't wear the dress wonderfully, when he didn't wear the dress in a way that was amazing. It's because they have all agreed that this is the narrative. And then he talked about the fact that the record execs also own the publications that are saying that something is amazing or something is not amazing. And that is just plain old-fashioned propaganda. So you don't necessarily need to detach what we're talking about from your concept of what governments are interested in. It's always propaganda.
So it's always.
I understand Cat Williams has said this. I also understand that Cat Williams was at one point in his life addicted to crack, and I think he's famous for losing a fight to a high school kid. I think this benched his career for a while.
I can insult him, but it doesn't.
I'm not insulting. I'm just saying that I don't know.
2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 =
That has nothing to do. Then that's where Destiny loses this argument with me, because that literally had nothing to do with anything. He lost a fight to a Destiny. If you fight one of these high schoolers, you would more than likely lose. I don't understand that. Does anybody think that Destiny can fight a high schooler? Does anybody think? Hold on, y'all don't see the whole thing. Matter of fact, let me trim this up a little bit more. Does anybody think that Destiny is well equipped to fight one of today's high schoolers at that? Does anybody think? Because I might be off. I'm open to the possibility that I'm off. I could be off. I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong. But does anybody think? Hold on. We gonna. We gonna do it, family. Does anybody think with that muscle mass right there? Okay, I had to crop it some more so you can see the arm. Does anybody think with that muscle mass right there that Destiny is capable of? Let's drag this down a little bit. Does anybody think that Destiny is capable of fighting a 12th grader? Let's just use the example of a 12th grader. Does anybody think that Destiny is equipped to fight a 12th grader? Does anybody think that? Look, and I don't even mean to roast. If y'all call this roast, then I don't mean to roast. I'm not trying to roast. It's not what I'm doing. But he said that like it was something for Cat Williams to be ashamed of, when Cat Williams had already explained himself in that. So I don't even understand where the ad hominem came from. I really don't understand the ad hominem right there. Some ad hominems are warranted if they're funny. This really wasn't funny to me. It wasn't funny to me. I wasn't entertained. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't entertained by that. But I don't think...
I'm not insulting him. I'm just saying that to lean into his testimony, who also, we would both acknowledge, has a lot to gain by giving incredulous testimony like this, saying oh my God, these crazy things are happening, right? I don't know if I would just say, well, right, he does. The fact that you're talking about him and you're citing him and you know it, right? If anybody else was saying a similar thing, we'd say, well, okay, they're saying this because they have something to gain for it, right? He knows that this is going to be a hot take, and he knows that it's going to go viral if he says it, and he knows he's going to get a lot of eyes on him for it. So I think it's good to call that into question. I think the issue that I have when it comes to the accusation that everything is some top-down level propaganda is I feel like the conversation shifts away from the important stuff, which is why are people attracted to this type of stuff? Why do people vibe with it so much? Why are we replacing traditional, better forms of media or more thought-provoking, I don't know what you would call it, forms of media with this type of stuff? Instead of having conversations about the culture and the society, it's all fixated on some weird top-down plot to control media consumption.
I think you just like to be contrarian because I don't understand the point that you're making here. Like, of course.
Wait, hold on, wait. Let me restate that. I'm sorry. The point I'm making is very clear. If I was going to, I've got a almost 13-year-old son in a few days. Okay, if I was to see that he's consuming media, my go-to would be like, hey, Nathan, why are you watching this? This is crazy. We need to look at something else. I need to, like, who are your friends? What are you looking at online? Like, we need to change your media consumption habits because this isn't working. I would never think like, I think that the school is involved in disseminating media towards him and there's no way that we can change this. Because I feel like on your side of the story, people are basically like, we're hopeless. There's nothing we can do.
No, it's not hopeless, but if you want to be able to do something about something, you need to be able to acknowledge the something, right?
What would the thing
you can't make it seem like it's a conspiracy. It's like, no, when I graduated high school, there wasn't a single trans kid. Now you've got like more than 50% of kids that think that they're other. That is obviously propaganda. Clearly, it's just not possible that you didn't exist. Maybe there was one person, and then all of a sudden everyone is.
Sure, I think it's okay to draw
that can only happen. That can only happen through propaganda, right?
Maybe,
they're suddenly being told it's an option. They're kids, right? You want to experiment and you want to be different. You're looking for a way to stand out, and so you hold on. And in the classrooms, you've got teachers that are reinforcing this narrative that is, yes, top down, right? It's like Hollywood in lockstep with the Department of Education that is making these options available. If it was natural, like when I graduated high school, there were gay kids. There were lesbian kids. There wasn't a ton of them. It wasn't an identity. That's another thing. The identity thing
the identity
is very new.
An interesting thing. I agree for sure.
And so it shows you who are they emulating? Who are they copying when they do this stuff? Like, because it's an option. It's just being presented to you. It's obviously not natural if it didn't exist naturally. And
I agree, but culture is a very complicated thing.
Culture is not a complicated thing.
So complicated. I think governments pray that they have the
deciding
amount of control over culture that you think they do. There's no shot that anybody would be able to top down control that much stuff.
Like I said, there have been a lot of evidence that has come out, whether you're looking at the Jeffrey Epstein case or you're reading through the 72-page document for the Diddy lawsuit that suggests that the government is involved.
Even on the Jeffrey Epstein case, like what's suggesting government involvement here?
What do you mean? What do you mean what's suggesting?
Like what part of the Jeffrey Epstein case is like, oh my God, the government is like playing a part in this?
Well, the fact that he had ties to the Mossad and the CIA, and that when they raided his home, he had his face and about 6 different passports. Who can issue passports?
Sure, but when we look at
who can issue you a different identity?
I don't know about different identities, but for passports, I imagine you can get that illegally, or you can just get it from countries depending on citizenship status.
Well,
but what I'm saying is that like for when we look at
Boy, what the fuck is you talking about? 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 Got a hell of a squad over here. What the fuck is you talking about? What the fuck is you talking about?
Destiny is green. If he hasn't put together the fact that Jeffrey Epstein, right? If he hasn't put together the fact that Jeffrey Epstein, if he hasn't put together the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was able to leverage the services that he was providing to billionaires and people of influence and affluence. Like there are so many people, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. There's so many people on that list of people, that powerful people. He even has a Rothschild on his clients list. A Rothschild is one of his clients. The implications of a Rothschild being one of Jeffrey Epstein's clients, that was the one name on the docket that I looked at. I was like, whoa. Again, the minority mindset. Epstein knows how the game. Epstein was an individual, terrible person, don't get me wrong, but the man knew how the game was played. That man understood how the game was played at a high level. He knew if I could get one, I could get them all. He understood that principle. If I could get Clinton, I could get Trump. If I could get Trump, I could get whoever else. If I could get whoever else, I can get a Rothschild. Once I get a Rothschild, and a Rothschild is on my clients list, and a Rothschild is able to vouch for me, even though the Rothschilds are essentially their family that enjoys their emininity. The Rothschilds are a family that enjoys their anonymity. So if I could get these people together, then, you know what I'm saying, I'd be nigh unstoppable. And then I could just do whatever the fuck I want. And he proceeded to do just that. So for Destiny to sit here and say, oh, there's some sort of governmental conspiracy. It's not conspiracy. Conspiracy is the wrong word. Everything is predicated on mutual interests. Everything. So it's not like people conspire. And I somewhat touched on this on the last episode. Just like the lawyers, everybody in that courthouse knows each other because they worked with each other for an extended period of time. The judge used to be a lawyer in the same district. That judge used to work cases as a lawyer when he was practicing law. So the judge, the district attorney, the paralegals, the public defenders, the defense attorneys that you actually have to hire, the prosecutors, all of these people, the social workers, all of these people, they work day in and day out in the courthouse. So Jeffrey Epstein, he understands the side effects of proximity, and he used it to his advantage. He understood that if I get enough clients that are politicians, that are thought leaders, that are people of influence in the world, then I can have a modicum of power myself. See, it's not really the money. When people move like this, it's not really the money. The money is just something that greases the wheels. It's the oil in the machine. The people are the cogs. The people are the cogs in the machine. The money just oils the machine. The people are the cogs. The relationships are the gears that move the machine and power the machine. The money is just the oil. It greases the wheels, so to speak. That's the phrase that people love to use. So Jeffrey Epstein, he understood that if I get enough people on my clients list that are these people, the Rothschilds, the Trumps, the Clintons, if I get enough clientele that are people of influence in the world, I can get away with the egregious acts that I want to get away with for real. That's what Jeffrey Epstein's game was. And that's why he had, quote unquote, Epstein Island, where he had all of those girls doing whatever to him. That was the game. And that's what he understood. And it's usually the worst among us that understand this quicker than the best among us. Unfortunately. So, but let's continue. And the fact that Destiny is oblivious to this, and it's not really conspiracy, it's mutual interest. He had something that they want, and he had something that he wanted. Mutual interest, leverage, striking deals. That was it.
Epstein, right? Epstein was a billionaire, right?
Why was he a billionaire?
Why? Because of trading or whatever he did? I'm not entirely sure.
No, that's the question. Nobody knows why him
I don't know
or his
why,
brother
yeah, but there's like
had
a
billions
million
of
different.
dollars.
Sure. There's lots of people where I don't know how they made their money, but to fill in the gaps of all of this with some.
No, you should always know
conspiracy.
how somebody became a billionaire. That's like a very easy thing. Like somebody shouldn't just be like, I became a billionaire and you have no idea how. Like,
I'm sure there are tons of people who are
like,
billionaires
I sold
that
a
aren't.
product. You know why Elon Musk has money. You know why Jeff Bezos has money. You should not say we can't connect the dots on how this person became a billionaire that was able to purchase
filings are.
Shit like that, shit like that, shit like that, shit like that, shit like that.
And this is where she nailed him. Because he understood how Jeff Bezos made money, but why are you speaking about Jeffrey Epstein and you don't know how he made his money? This is where it really turns on Destiny in the conversation. This is where it turns on Destiny in the conversation. You know how Jeff Bezos made his money. You said it earlier. But you don't know how Jeffrey Epstein made his money. Let's continue.
It's always going to be public that like, oh, well, I can figure out exactly why this person became a billionaire. If they don't work in like public traded companies or something, how will you ever know? There's no way you're going to know that.
He did.
He did. He worked in publicly traded companies. And he doesn't understand. Like, my phone's about to die. I'm at 8% on my phone. Hold on, let's see. Can I pull this over here? I got it. You know what? I'm going to do it this way. Hold on. Gotta take the case off my phone. Hold on. Because I got a wireless charger over here. They need to invent a Wi-Fi charger where I could charge my phone from anywhere in the room, but it's probably going to be risky. But how is it that you're so tapped into how Jeff Bezos made his money, but you don't know how Jeffrey Epstein made his money? Understand what I'm saying? It's very weird. It's very weird that you were able to accurately articulate how the founder of Amazon, the chief founder of Amazon made his money, but Jeffrey Epstein, you don't know how he made his. Let's continue. Let's get back to it. Hold on. Yeah, it's charging. I don't know if it's going to sustain though, because my phone's using a lot of power right now. So we'll see. I got to reach over my mic in order to get to it. All right. I think my next purchase is going to be a new desk. I think I'm going to go for an L shape because I got a straight across desk, but I need more space. I need more space on my desk. I need something on the side, but I digress. Let's continue. Let's continue. Hold on. All right.
Has money. You should not became a billionaire. But that's like a very easy thing. Like somebody shouldn't just be like, I became a billionaire and you have no idea how. Like
I'm sure there are tons of people who are
like,
billionaires.
I sold a product. You know why Elon Musk has money. You know why Jeff Bezos has money. You should not say we can't connect the dots on how this person became a billionaire that was able to purchase an island.
Filings aren't always going to be public that like, oh, well, I can figure out exactly why this person became a billionaire. If they don't work in like public traded companies or something, how will you ever know? There's no way you're going to know that.
He did.
Then what's the question?
It's not a question. It's just nobody understands why Jeff
look good. Folks, I had no idea what the hell just happened. Well, no, I do know what happened. I didn't have the AC turned on and my computer overheated. So I know exactly what happened in that instance. Specifically my graphics card, it gets very, very hot in that case. I was about to take the front part of the case off. Actually, I didn't have the AC on, so there was no cool air going, and it was getting very hot in my room, very hot in my office. It was getting very hot in my office. But we back, we here, we back, and we here. We back and we here. It was getting very hot in my office. YouTube's gonna do its thing and AI out pretty much most of what went wrong just now. But yeah, I apologize, but we're here, we're back, we're getting to it, and we're back with the conversation. So let's go back a little bit and
like for when we look at Epstein, right? Epstein was a billionaire, right?
Why was he a billionaire?
Why? Because of trading or whatever he did. I'm not entirely sure.
No, that's the question. Nobody knows why.
I don't know why. Yeah, but there's like a million different.
Sure.
There's lots of people where I don't know how they made their money, but to fill in the gaps of all of this with some.
No, you should always know how somebody became a billionaire. That's like a very easy thing. Like somebody shouldn't just be like, I became a billionaire and you have no idea how. Like
I'm sure there are tons of people who are billionaires.
I sold a product. You know why Elon Musk has money. You know why Jeff Bezos has money. You should not say we can't connect the dots on how this person became a billionaire that was able to purchase an island.
Filings aren't always going to be public that like, oh, well, I can figure out exactly why this person became a billionaire. If they don't work in like public traded companies or something, how will you ever know? There's no way you're going to know that.
He did.
Excuse me. Sorry.
So yeah, he worked in publicly traded companies. That's how he got his motion, right? Is a term that we use in the black community called motion. So he got his motion, he got his flow from the companies that he worked in. He got his motion from those companies. So, you know, I don't have my light up as high as I usually do. There we go. Oh, shit, I see the sun. I'm extremely light-skinned right now. But, yeah, he got his motion from, it is what it is. he got his motion how most people do. They work. Most people work. Most billionaires were workers. Well, most millionaires were workers first. Nowadays, we have more millionaires that work themselves into the position instead of inherited it. All right. So it's not about being a trust fund kid. It's about being intentional. It's about being intentional. It's not about being a trust fund kid. It's not about inheriting anything. It's about working for yourself, being intentional, seeing the opportunities and capitalizing on them where they present themselves. That's it. That's all. Also, relationship building while you're in those positions. Relationship building with those that are going to make millions and billions. Because that's how you make millions and billions, by leveraging those relationships. But let's get back to it. I'm working on a manual basis because I think it's messed up. Let me look at this. Let me look at these. Yep. The Stream Deck extension. Did that not pop up? It did. So let me restart Elgato real quick and see if it's going to quit Stream Deck. And then restart Stream Deck. And while that's going on, I'm going to manually slide over. And oh yeah, now I'm cold in here. I'm gonna need a hoodie soon. I was like extremely hot, but I was thugging it out. I was super hot. I was thugging it out. I wasn't sweating or anything. Even though I may look shiny because I moisturized, but I wasn't sweating or anything. I was extremely hot though. I was feeling it. And just when it's kind of hot in here. That's why my computer locked up due to the fact that it overheated. Not the computer, like the CPU didn't overheat. The graphics card obviously did. And that's what typically happens with those core components. There we go. All right. So we here.
What's the question?
It's not a question. It's just nobody understands why Jeffrey Epstein or his brother have billions of dollars.
Well, you just said did he have a ton of shares in publicly traded companies?
What do you mean? Did he have a ton of shares?
Like when we ask, for instance, so here's a question. Do you know how Jeff Bezos made his money or how Elon Musk made his money?
I know that Jeff Bezos created Amazon, and I know that Elon Musk has created a ton of things. Tesla, you got Starlink.
Okay, kind of, so not really. Bezos made his money because of the appreciation of shares of Amazon that he had a huge stake in, right? And Elon Musk made a lot of his money. Initially, it was on PayPal and a couple of ventures, and then because he had a huge equity stake in SpaceX and Tesla, especially, that's where they made their money. Is ownership of stock of publicly traded companies. That's what I'm saying. We can look at those people. We can say we know how they made their money. So I don't think Epstein had massive shares in publicly traded companies, did he? So he wouldn't have made.
Did you actually look into the Epstein case, or are you just, because I can't tell right now if your thing is just to be contrarian?
Okay, hold on.
No, I'm being serious. No, I'm asking you because it seems like you're just like, whatever your position is, I'm going to take the opposite and I'm going to say something really quickly and try to say, well, how do we know? And it's like, that's actually quite boring.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, dude, like, let's actually have a real conversation because tons of stuff is happening right now. A lot of stuff is being exposed, right? Mm-hmm. People are for the first time able to grasp a theory that finally makes sense, right? It finally makes sense. It makes sense that there is a blackmail ring operating in DC because we don't understand why we keep sending our politicians to DC and then it's like they completely serve anybody other than the American people, right? So when that Jeffrey Epstein case got exposed, and if you were following it and reading the documents,
I did follow it. I read the entire document, the 80-page report that came out from the government. Did a report on the prison where he supposedly got killed.
And you're realizing how many artists have stood up and said this exact same thing was going on. Now you have somebody that has filed something with proof saying it's going on, and then you just have like a Destiny being like, "Oh, what if it's not going on? What if it's not? Whoa.
Okay, well, sure. So here's like a super...
maybe."
So what she's referring to and what Destiny is ignorant of is that the Jeffrey Epstein, everybody's been waiting for this document to come out. Everybody's been waiting for this Jeffrey Epstein document to come out because his death was very skeptical. He shot himself twice in the back of the head. which honestly, unfortunately, I have a homie that did the same. But knowing who he was and how different that man was, it kind of makes sense because he never was like a regular. He wasn't a regular individual. If you follow my drift, he never did anything the regular way. So it kind of it was kind of questionable, but hey. And also, he probably didn't want his mother to see him like with his brains blown out or whatever. He wrote a letter. It was, yeah. Anyway, so people have been questioning the circumstances of his death, the fact that he was able to do all of this stuff that he was able to do for so long. Nobody understood how he amassed his fortune, and the way that he amassed his fortune is he provided services. Still not sure what the services were. We think it was financial services, like accounting services or money management services, right? To a bunch of billionaires, people who have enough power and influence to effectively rule the world. And this is the thing. They coalesced around their shared worldview, shared ideologies, shared experiences, shared philosophies, and that's how quote unquote conspiracies happen. It's not. It wasn't like it was cloak and dagger and people got in a temple out. You know, they go to an ancient Mayan temple somewhere out in the woods or in South America or whatnot. They have money to go anywhere in the world, but really everything starts with the core principle of mutual interest. Mutual interest. Mutual interest. That's where everything starts. Mutual interest. So their interests align because they're all in the same boat. They're all in the billionaire boat. They're all in the billionaire boat. So with them all being in the billionaire boat, they want to see that ship sail. They're going to move together to ensure that that ship doesn't sink. Because the number one thing about power is that power always sees to maintain itself. Nobody ever wants to lose their power. So they all aligned with their mutual interests and struck deals. Now, it just so happens that the deals that they struck may or may not affect the general public, and people have a problem with that, but they worked themselves in the position to be able to do that. So that's just what it is.
WAP is just really just that amazing. People just love talking about vaginas and like mopping the floor. It's like you can do that thing, but it's not interesting. You know what I mean?
Okay, sure. All right. Like, here's just an easy test question so I can get my bearings straight. What do you think about the 91 or so indictments for Donald Trump?
What do you mean?
Do you think that those are credible indictments that have credible evidence behind them?
Well, speak to me specifically about which indictment you're talking about.
So the Mar-a-Lago case.
I actually haven't followed that one, so I'm not going to push back on that one, but I can tell you the ones that I have followed and I've given an answer on. Like, obviously, we've never seen the media or the justice system go after any president in the way that
that
they
doesn't
have.
matter. You could say the same about P. Diddy. You've never seen the media go after a black artist.
I didn't
like
say
this
it did. It didn't. I didn't finish my statement. Why are you saying it doesn't matter? Why'd you just say that?
I'm just. It could be that nobody's ever done something this.
But I haven't.
Before.
You're so contrarian that you haven't even let me finish.
Why do you keep calling me contrarian?
You haven't even let me finish my sentence. You said that doesn't matter. It's like, what do you?
Because you gave a point that was irrelevant.
I know, but like, I don't understand what you're objecting to. You said that
you said the media has never gone after somebody like this before.
You asked me a question. Mm-hmm. I started to answer it by saying the media has never gone after anyone like this before.
Okay.
And then you just said it doesn't matter. It's like, can I answer the question? Or you just gotta like contradict right away?
I'm not contradicting. I'm just fighting the crazy narratives that prevent anybody from having a real analysis of any of the things going on. But you can lay out your whole thing about.
All right, then since you know my narrative, even though you asked the question, I wasn't able to answer it.
You can answer the question.
I'm glad that you defeat the narrative. No, we're good. We're good. I'm not going to have you ask. I'm not going to actually have you ask a question and then cut me off and say that I'm parroting a narrative when I haven't even told you what my opinion was. That's not you being interesting. That's you being obnoxious.
I think that you're trying to avoid answering the question.
By being cut off by you?
I said you could finish it if you want.
You're trying to avoid answering the question. Quite literally, I was trying to answer the question and you cut me off. So we're good on that. We can move on and talk about something other than Trump and his 95 indictments.
I think it's 91 or 92.
Okay.
Okay, well, what are we talking about that won't get you as triggered?
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So I see Destiny's style, and I hope I never debate him because that would piss me off. That would legit piss me off. People who cannot stay on the topic, people who cut each other off, cutting each other off. That's why I'm making myself a tad bit more scarce on what panels I'm willing to go on and what panels I'm not willing to go on. Because everything it doesn't need to be for me. I've learned that. It doesn't make sense that you ask someone a question, you cut them off. Let's go back, because that legit. I can see why she's pissed off. I can see why she's perturbed. But right there was highlighted the mindset of the minority, and how the minority rules over the majority. People don't understand it, and so they always attribute it to some sort of, oh, these people are out to get me. They likely don't even know that you exist. You're essentially just cannon fodder. If you want to consider it a war, you're essentially cannon fodder. You're essentially cannon fodder. You're an acceptable loss. Because these people have worked themselves in a position where they're not susceptible to anybody else's influence. So now they're working strictly, they're not working from a mindset where they need to survive someone else's rule. They create the rules. And we are subjected to them. That's how the game goes. The billionaires, when you think of the Walton family, when was the last time you shopped at Walmart? They brought up Jeff Bezos. When was the last time you bought something from Amazon? What are you going to do, not buy something from Amazon? It's arguably reasonably priced goods that come to your household rather quickly. If you want to forego complete and total billionaire influence, I want you to vacate the premise of your dwelling, cut off the electricity, stop watching TV, throw your phone away, throw your car away, sell your car, and become a nomad, going from place to place and just living that lifestyle. Or you can leverage your position and figure out how to leverage your position so that you can then level up in all the ways that you wish to, so that you can be on the side of the game where people are talking about you more so than you talking about them. Anyway, wary observations, righteous discussions, unite people. It's the Word Up Podcast. I've been your host, OMNI, ETC, Omni, etc.
Omni.
Replay gang, let me know what you think in the comments. Get with me in the comments section. I'm going to clip out some of this material. I'll probably be doing that for the rest of the evening. I'll just really let me know what you think. I'm so glad that I did it this way instead of the mobile way, because little secret. If you set up a live stream on YouTube via mobile, which I have been, there is no end stream button. So you can't actually end the stream. It'll just cut off after it notices you're not live for a certain period of time. And that's what's been happening on my past streams. But this one, I was very intentional about doing it from desktop. Even though, I typically come up with the thumbnail and the concept of the show later on in the week based off of what has happened in the week. So I've been very intentional about doing it from there so I have more control over the show. But when you do it from mobile, you just go live as soon as you connect, as soon as my computer software connects to the stream when I schedule it from mobile, because it reads it as a mobile stream, even though I'm streaming from software. So I think I sent in a ticket to YouTube about that. They need to switch that up. But I like the flow that I got going now, and I think we're gonna keep this up in the coming weeks. What else? Mission of a Writer coming out 4/4/24, so April 4th. I hope you enjoy the music. I hope you enjoy the live streams. I hope you enjoy the discussions that we have with my computer. Well, essentially my graphics card overheating the way it is. I cannot generate the panels the way that I want to just yet, but that's about to change soon. I got a couple of household purchases I'm gonna make, and then I'm gonna prioritize getting another graphics card, a better one, because I need something more robust, because as my needs change, I need more and better equipment, and that's a never-ending purchase. You could go down a huge hole of figuring out what component you need for this and that, whatever. Like, I want to upgrade this camera to the A7, the A7 Mark III, the Sony A7 Mark III. Right now I'm using a Lumix G7, but I want to get the A7 because I prefer its picture quality more so. But that's just me, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments section. I appreciate everybody that stopped by to visit your boy and holler at me and to partake in the discussion live. Hopefully in the near future, within the next month or so, we can do the panel thing. I'm not doing the StreamYard thing. I got a different method. I got it down pat, actually. It just requires more graphic processing, because I got just to run this one show, I'm using, I got the main streaming software, but then I got 2 browsers, several tabs across those browsers. It's a lot that goes into this, man. When you're doing it from scratch as opposed to doing it from StreamYard, it's a lot goes into it. But I don't complain. I just changed the game. Peace, love, health, wealth to you all. I appreciate you all. And we out.